I know. Well, I've always looked at Luann as like, she just reminds me of a very European culture kind of woman. Like, they're very free with their bodies. And Luann has a banging body. So if I had her body, I would walk around naked too. But she's like, Luann is like a very like almost bohemian. She's just, chill. So she just, whatever, like she just shows whatever it is. She doesn't care. It's actually not even that offensive coming from her, because it's just coming from a place of, hey, this is my body. It's beautiful. And why not show it,
Totally.
I think with Ramona seems a little bit more conservative at times. So I don't know, it was a little more surprising, with her being as free as she was. But I thought it was beautiful because Ramona was one of the oldest ladies on the trip, and I'm probably like second to her. So I do love and respect that she was so confident and just celebrated her body. She looks damn good for her age, and you can't take that away from her. So I love that she was like, hey, whatever. Like, she could care less. She's like, and I think that's beautiful.
Where do you fall in terms of, right? Because like Ramona's in her 60s, like where do you, because like we've seen in like these recent episodes, like Melissa and Luann are saying like, she has nothing to go home to, like we feel sorry for her. Is it like, you're a 60-year-old woman, better, there's no excuse for this behavior, like sorry? Or do you have that, oh, I could see why people have a passionate moment for
Well, I think two things happen when you get older. Either you are old enough to just know better and you do better, or you get to that point where you're old and you're like, I don't really give a shit. It is what it is. Like my grandmother, like it was like she didn't have to explain anything to anyone. She had earned her stripes, she had lived her life, and she did whatever she wanted to do. And if you didn't like it, then too bad.
That's why you see old people a lot of times like in their 70s and like,
yeah,
they have that glass of wine at like 10 a.m. They're like, why
they have
not?
no filter. They're like, we're old, leave us alone. We have lived, we have seen a lot of things, we know a lot of things. This is it. This is who we are. Take us or leave us. Take us or leave us.
So maybe Ramona is just ahead of her time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of both. I think she, well, I think she knows better, but I think Ramona understands reality TV as well. And I think, I can't imagine she carries on like this all the time. Like that would really be concerning. But I think she knows how to put a little exclamation point on it a little bit more when the cameras are going. And then I also think there's a part of her that really is like, hey, this is it. This is the way I am. Take it or leave it. Because I honestly don't think that she has an issue with how she behaves. Like I could go back and forth with Ramona and 5 minutes later, she's like, hey, do you want to have some wine? I'm like, wait, we just got into an argument. I'm still mad at you. Like I need, like, I'm not the one, if I get upset with you, I can't like have a margarita with you 5 minutes later. Like I need to be upset, leave me alone. You go over there, I'll be over here. Maybe give me a couple of days. Like in Atlanta, when we get upset with each other or pissed off, we don't make up right away in the next 5 minutes. Some people it takes seasons for them to actually come back together. So we process our anger. We take our time. With what I learned with some of the other franchises, they're like, you go back and forth, and then they're like, okay, who wants margaritas? And you're like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. Like, where did they do that at? Not in Atlanta.
You're like, wait, aren't we supposed to be mad at each other here?
Did you forget you just cussed me out? And now you think I'm going to have a drink with you? No.
Who shocked you the most to that point? Like just in general, like from any franchise, like who were you the most shocked with just in terms of this whole trip?
Honestly, I think everyone except Atlanta, all the ladies except, Kenya and I were like we just know how it works in Atlanta. And it was kind of refreshing and confusing for me to go at it and be cool 5 minutes later. Like, I'm like, oh, wow. And that's just how it is. I definitely saw that, Kyle Richards was the only one from Beverly Hills She definitely seemed like she'll like, say what she has to say and just let it go. Like, that's one of the things that I actually learned from the trip is to not hold on to things as long as I did, because, when Cal and I had a moment, I just couldn't let it go. I was just like, and, she's like, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? I was like, yeah, we're good. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, move around. And looking back, I'm like, I would have had so much more fun had I just let it go. Just like once she apologized for the third time, at least I could just let it go. But I was like, I could not let it go. And then at that point, it just was like I had to try to figure out, how to get out of that, because it just affected my whole trip after that point.
Were you shocked? Because I would say, if I had to predict, I would say Kyle and you are the least two that I would expect any type of
for sure
friction between in a million years.
Yeah, Cal and I have friends in common. Cal's a great time. I've always liked Cal, kind of from afar. And we had some great conversations. As a matter of fact, she gave me some amazing marriage advice. Her and Mauricio have been together for years, for a very long time. We have a beautiful family together. And one of the great pieces of advice that I took from her, and I actually apply it to my relationship with Mike, is she told me that the secret, well, one of the secrets, or the biggest secret to her success with her husband, is they don't hang out with single people. They only hang out with other married couples. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their social circle. And as simple as that sounds, I was like, wow, I never thought about that. And now, since she shared that with me, I shared it with Mike, and we do couples dates and nights all the time now. We really have focused on hanging out with more people that are actually in relationships. And it's great because we learn a lot from other relationships. Mike and I have only been married for a year. We've been together for like 4 or 5 years now, but only married 1 year in. And it's just great and educational at this point to just see how other couples make it work, especially if they've been together for a really long time. So I am so grateful, for that advice from Kyle, because it's really working for us. And, we have a great time. And, we literally walk away from dinners and lunches like, okay, so we're not that bad because they're a mess. You know what I mean? We feel better about ourselves. Oh, we learned something,
I never thought about it like that, but that is good advice.
Is that good advice?
Yeah, I never thought about that, but that makes logical sense. And right, especially if you could say, hey, we're not the crazy ones in this group.
Exactly. And then if as a married couple, like if I'm always hanging out with my girlfriends, Mike is always hanging out with his guy friends, and his single guy friends and my single girlfriends, it's like, I'm places with them that, where single people want to like attract men and vice versa. It gets a little, it could cause trouble down the line if you're not secure in the relationship and if you guys aren't solid. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of going down a slippery slope.
That makes sense. And like, why, if you have each other, why put yourself in those situations anyway?
Exactly.